What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah, and you're watching this video on Sunday, February 9th, 2025 at 10:50 a.m. MST. This week, I am the extra, and Jesus is my ordinary. This is the last episode of Season 5 before going into Season 6. And it's also the last time that I will get to record one of my episodes here in the crawl space of the house I lived at in 137 Gina Circle, Unit B in Bozeman, Montana. I started this process back on 11/7/2017 at 10:33 p.m. is when I started this process of God calling me into this crawl space to pray with Him and to seek Him. And so as talking through the origins of where Extraordinary Life came from, it was such an interesting process getting started with God, feeling that He was calling me to my crawl space to sit down here and to spend time with Him. I can remember I felt so weird doing it. Often Charlotte would ask when I first started, "Honey, what are you doing?" I'd put on my puffy yellow Patagonia coat and my stocking cap, come down into the basement to just sit here, and I'd tell her, "I don't know. God has called me to do this. I don't know why. I don't know what He's up to, but I'm going to be faithful to do it." And I'd come and I'd sit here in my blue chair and just pray with Him, seek His heart. And I remember getting started out that I was so confused. It was so hard. I honestly copped a bit of an attitude with Him that I'd sit here in the dark and just tell Him, "Well, here I am. I'm obeying. What do you want to talk about? What are you doing? Why are we doing this?" And it was just a lot of silence. So I would just press in to praying with God and being faithful, showing up. And eventually, as I just looked into the darkness and just sat down here with the lights turned off, that I just started talking with Him about anything and everything that His Spirit brought to mind. And they started to become times of deep connection with God, praying into the foundations of the church, praying into the foundations of the kingdom, to begin to speak to things that may be broken in the foundations of the church. And it just became this awesome time of prophetic insight with God and just a sweet time of surrender to obeying His voice. Now, here in 2025, it is astounding to me that in this transition to the new season of pressing into Season 6, that God had timed perfectly the exit from my house at 137 Gina Circle, that the last episode of Season 5 is the last time to be able to record in the crawl space of this house, and that He's moving me to a new house at the very first episode of Season 6. My face is cramping. Only Jesus is able to pull off that kind of timing. That when God called me to come down to the crawl space of my house here, I typed into a date calculator, so 1,371 days ago, 3 years, 9 months, 2 days, 118,454,400 seconds of time, that in starting that with God, that He looked to the future and said, "Yeah, if you start this now, everything will be in place such that the transition from your house at 137 Gina Circle to 2615 Park Creek Avenue will bridge the gap of your 5th to 6th season of Extraordinary Life with Elijah." God's timing in the transition from this space over to our new space is beyond comprehension. As I think about the episode of last week of pushing snow with God and then saving all of that footage for months before I recorded the second half of it, not thinking about time, just it's like now's the time to do it, and sensing, okay, let's make this video, and then realizing, oh my goodness, this is one of the last episodes of this year's season. And then the declaration of you never know what resources you're building in the moment of time when you're building them, but that God is building the resources necessary to thrive in the next season as you press into his heart and doing good to everyone and loving and serving and remaining faithful and persevering. That you never know what resources you're building for the season that's yet to come until you get into that season and say, wow, God, your goodness and your provision and your ways are beyond comprehension. How did you do this? And that there's this space where God shows us things that are yet to come, from a space where we're on lockdown and we're underground and we have no idea what we're doing or why we're doing it, but God does, and he's speaking into you. But that when you break into the fullness of it, the manifest glory of his person is so overwhelming. To see how he was putting everything in place, timing everything perfectly, releasing the provision, that he was paying the price through praying the price, and that everything is in place and the transition is perfect. You see, that's very ordinary to Jesus. It's so easy that he thinks of our future as a memory of our past, that it's very ordinary for him, and that he has said that as we abide in him and that his word abides in us, that we will do the things that he has done, and that we will do more. We will do greater. We'll do the extra. My encouragement to you is that whatever God is calling you into, whether it seems ridiculous, it seems confusing, it seems even insulting, and you start copying an attitude with God like I did back on 11/7/2017 at 10:30 p.m. And you surrender, but even have an attitude. That my invitation to you, out of pressing into what God has had for my life, my encouragement to you is to impart grace to you, that you could move through that period quicker, that you could move from a place of, here I am, I'm surrendering, I don't know what you're doing, I don't know what you're up to, like, is this even doing anything? My declaration to you here on Sunday the 9th at 10:50 a.m. MST, last episode of season 5 of Journey, that I didn't even know existed on 11/7/2017, but God knew, and that his timing was perfect. It's perfect to prophetically establish the transition to a new house, a new dwelling out of his fulfillment of prophecy in and through me, the fulfillment of his goodness. My declaration to you is to impart grace to help you move into the will of God for your life faster. As I sit here in this final time in this space, and I look around, and I see that God has done so much. All the clutter that was down here, things that were stored in the crawl space, are gone. It's cleared out, it's cleaned, it's more spacious. The foundations are more exposed, they're cleaner, they're easier to see. And that moving into this next season of time, that God has done his good work in me. And I spent time with him here, pouring myself out, invading heaven to see heaven's foundation set in the earth, praying into things that are broken, seeking his face, that he was ministering to me to strengthen his foundational presence in my life, to clear things out, to get me ready, to call me out into this next season. I'm getting ready to record the episode for 2021, which is being recorded on Monday, August 9th, 2021. That God's ordering the perfection of his time, August 9th, with February 9th, 2021 to 2025, the exact moment of moving from one place to another. God's timing is perfect, that his infinite power, person, and knowledge empower him to perfect patience, that he waits till the exact time to act, knowing that he can accomplish his will in the first try, and that will accomplish in us the perfect impartation of his person and provision to help us to see the perfection of his ways. His ways are perfect. So wherever you find yourself, fam, here in 2025, that I have prophetically declared to you on this day, from 3.5 years in the past, that God's person is perfect. He can be trusted, that his goodness, his glory, his plans for you, they are sure. And to out of a secure testimony in him of what he has accomplished in my life, declare grace to you that God is good, he can be trusted, to invite you into the surrender of obeying his commands in your life with great joy. If you subscribe to what I am doing, hit the button, hit it, and then get it. Hit the bell as well so you get notified with the new content. And if you love this video, you didn't just like it, hit the thumbs down button. I pray blessings on our lives together. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video, which starts now. So bittersweet. Oh, man. I started out this time with an attitude and confusion, feeling intimidated and silly, embarrassed. But now in this place, the only negative thing that I can think of is that I didn't spend more time in this space. What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah. And today, Azrael is my extra. God is my extra. Andy, Bishop, Josiah, Shelley, Justin, Jen, Julie, Blaine. They're all my extra. And I am the ordinary.